right. Well, welcome, Walter, the man, the myth, the legend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on the Real Talk, and thank you for this amazing first event, how post-pandemic, and the energy that is here in this conference.
Thank you. We are so excited and frankly a little humbled by the support that we've gotten from the industry, certainly from IBS, certainly from you, certainly from your team here. This is the first industry event in our electronics industry event since the last ERA conference, almost 2 years ago to the day. We didn't know what kind of turnout we'd get. With COVID, it was kind of settling down. With the Omicron, we've had record registration. We now have well over 530 people that were registered for the conference. It's twice what we had in 2018. We had 225 first-timers at this conference. 2 years ago, we had 225 total attendees. Wow. So you think about, we have more first-timers at this one than we had total attendees.
The growth during the pandemic has been unprecedented. But why don't we take it back a little bit for people who are listening and watching to say, who is ERA?
So ERA is a not-for-profit trade association. We started in 1935 as a representative group for radio people that sold radio tubes, vacuum tubes in the radio industry. Before electronics was electronics. We were a rep association in the beginning. Probably about 15 years ago, manufacturers' reps are nothing without manufacturers. Yeah. So we opened up a registration to manufacturers. And then about 10 years ago, we opened up registrations to distributors to really complete the three legs of the stool: the manufacturer, the rep, and the distributor, all working together to go service the end customer.
Correct.
So we talk a lot about end customer, we talk about sales practices, but we really have evolved. So we're an 80-year-old not-for-profit trade association, and we have to keep making sure that we're evolving to stay relevant and to stay ahead of the game.
No, I mean, it's been, for me, as I said, my first experience at the show was 2 years ago, right pre-pandemic, with everything shut down, and I was blown away because I've been to some industry events, especially EDS in Vegas and some other events, and it was the most eye-opening event for me when I came that time. I'm like, wow, everybody's because again, there's some intimidation, especially in Vegas. A lot of intimidation happens in an event. Like everybody's more like, you don't rub shoulders, you don't ask anybody, you see their name tag, you don't know. But here, it was open arms. Everybody's collaborative, especially with how you create it with breakout sessions, educational. That doesn't matter what level you are. Everybody's learning together and sharing insights of what really is happening on the ground. Because the rep industry in electronics are like foot soldiers. Sure. That are designing in all the products into all the technology we're in today, as well as now there's three pillars with the distributor and the manufacturer all involved to create that perfect cycle of the business struck. So for me, it was, like I say, for that show, like eye-opening. I'm like, where have we? This is what the whole industry and the whole world of electronics should be joining and be a part of.
Sure. And the interesting thing, the unique thing about our conference is that we're an educational conference. Yep. Every session that we run, we ask the question, what are people going to learn at the session? What are the takeaways to go back to Ohio or Florida or California to help run their business better, their rep company, their distributor, or their manufacturer? So people come here to learn. So we have a very much like a college curriculum. You have breakout sessions. You can sign up. We have 15 breakout sessions. People can take 8 of them. And so all of a sudden, people can get to choose which ones they want to have. And it's really very unique in our industry that we are ERA is an educational association, so we are trying to teach people and making sure that we continue to dig wells for those people that are going to come behind us.
Oh, of course, and it's really giving the resources and tools to the existing and new generations that are coming into here. And I can see, just like you said, you have 240 new attendees.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
And to coming into and you have new members. You have 60 new members in the last year or 2 years?
We've actually grown membership since the pandemic. I think people really saw people wanted to be connected with people when the pandemic hit. So we provided these water cooler calls. We provided a forum and a platform for people to talk to each other, to share best practices, to share their fears, frankly, to ask questions. Hey, I don't know how to do video conferencing. What platform are you using? How do you hiring with people? How are you onboarding new hires under a pandemic? So we really have provided that sort of resource, and people saw the value of it, and we've actually grown membership We really haven't run a formal membership campaign during the pandemic. We didn't want to be tone deaf, but we wanted to let people know that they certainly could join. So we have well over 600 members now, and we continue to add members, and try to provide a good value for the membership.
Yeah, I mean, ERA is one. I mean, I can say for myself, one of the leaders of, leading by example, using technology, educating the sales reps, because we live in a digital world. This pandemic, 2 years, has completely accelerated us by like a decade of how we engage, how we prospect, how we go after customers, and how we use these tools.
Sure.
And it's been amazing how you guys embraced it, showing people change websites, giving them better tools, more interactive, and really hitting it, because we live in a digital age today.
Sure.
Everything is from the new, as I said, yesterday's breakout, one of the keynote speakers yesterday was amazing. Talk about generational gaps. And as you said, when ERA has been for so many decades, it's been around, things have changed. But again, it's a traditional model going to a digital model, and embracing the change and understanding it's the same, it's just the way, and rehumanizing the process digitally.
Right, right. Yeah, we are actually trying to restock the pond. We're trying to provide vehicles for people to effectively hire people, to find people, to hire people, to retain people, because and talk about a lot about succession planning. A lot of the companies need to worry about succession planning, and some of the manufacturers are looking at rep companies and distributors for where is the next generation coming in? How are you hiring them? How are you keeping them? Sometimes it's easier to hire them than to keep them. So we're trying to provide that platform. It was interesting when the speaker yesterday afternoon was talking about generations. He left out one generation. He left out perennials. Perennials are people like me. I'm a perennial. I come back to life every spring, and I'm never going to die. So there's millennials, there's Gen X, Gen Y, but perennials. And a lot of our people in our industry, they never want to leave. So we're very excited to be here, certainly over the moon. The venue here at the University of Texas is first class. The support we've gotten, I think most of our people leave here in a food coma because the food is excellent, and we're really just so happy at the way the support the industry has given our event.
What's amazing with the amount of ecosystem and the volunteers that help with all this process that are in industry. I mean, everything is to perfection. I mean, the way you guys set it up, the process, the timing, it's a professional environment, but again, it's fun, it's exciting, there's energy, and the energy right now is contagious. Everybody's excited to get out, and setting the precedent for our industry is amazing. Now going into this new year, you're setting it. It's leading by example right now.
Right. Well, we're thrilled because thanks for mentioning the volunteers. We have over 80 volunteers that were on our committee. All the breakout sessions are really run by industry people. So we have sales leaders, presidents, VPs of sales, senior vice presidents of marketing on all of the panels. So it's people learning from their peers, people that can speak our language, people in the industry, and we have people sharing best practices with their competition. Unheard of. Reps are telling what they're doing to other rep companies. Distributors telling other distributors what they're doing. It's unheard of, and so we say to people, come and learn and listen to these people, because these people are giving their valuable time, but they're going to share you real tactical tips to take back and use to help run your business better. So without the volunteers, we couldn't have done any of this.
Actually, my extreme gratitude to yourself and to all the volunteers. It's amazing, the event. I mean, for people outside the event, but also, again, moving forward to technology, what is your vision? I mean, as I said, we're inventing ourselves every year. Everything is evolving so fast. What is your vision now with the technology coming into play, and how powerful a tool that's going to be for our industry to kind of democratize a little bit? Because again, everything's done in a small ecosystem, but the technology kind of democratizes, just like you said, sharing insights, sharing information, but how we can democratize and grow together, not just individually.
Well, it's a great question.
Yeah.
What we're trying to impress upon our members is that don't give up all the things that you learned how to do in the last 2 years. Video conferencing is in fact face-to-face. And some of them are people saying, I can't wait to get back to face-to-face. Well, we're saying a Zoom call is face-to-face. What you might want to say is you can't wait to get back to in-person visits. Now, here's the challenge that our people are going to have. Our customers have also changed in the last 2 years. So if I want to get an audience with you, you're the director of engineering or the purchasing manager of a company, and I say, listen, I want to come in and see you, Rob, you might have to go through some hassle of getting me in. You're not letting visitors in. You have to sanitize the room and all that. I finally get in to see you, and I get a half an hour. At the end of it, I say, well, Rob, thanks for your time. You look at me and say, you know what, we could have done this on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
What's going to be the reaction of you the next time I say I'd like to come in and see you? You're probably going to say, you know what, why don't we do a Zoom call? So you don't want to use that trump card to get a face-to-face meeting when you could do it in Zoom. So embrace the technology, get good at it, get great at it, learn how to be great at remote hiring, learn how to be great at remote management. Don't give up all the technologies that we have, because it's here to stay, because our customers have changed. They want to use technology. They want to be able to use all the things, all the new things that they learned. They don't want to give them up either. So embrace the change. We're in the new normal the last 2 years. So this is it. It's not, this is what we have to deal with.
Well, it's a new day, the new way of what
Exactly.
the theme of the conference is, and you nailed it. You hit it on the head, because some people, I mean, we're creatures of habit. Sometimes we're like, kind of want to reverse and go back to, everything's opening. I was thinking we could go back to doing our ways. Or, of course, a lot of salespeople are road warriors. They love to travel, love to do so. But now the efficiency and the productivity can dramatically increase using these digital formats. And you can see your customer, maybe not seeing them every month, maybe once a quarter, not seeing them all the time, because you can do a lot of virtual and then you do something in person, because also that time to travel, time to go somewhere, that hour, the day it takes to travel from one state to another, when you're driving from coast to coast or wherever you're going, it takes time. But then that time, just like you said, lean into it. And you are your best investment. Educate yourself to the process. And I love what ERA does as an educational conference. It's also telling us that you guys need to learn. Here are some of the tools, here's some of the processes, and start researching and diving in to make your teams and your companies better for tomorrow.
And I think you're absolutely right. There will be a matrix, or hybrid rather, a hybrid model. There'll be a combination of in-person and face-to-face moving forward. Don't be afraid of the change. Embrace the change, but really get good at it. We still have a lot of people that were on Zoom calls. They don't have a virtual background. They have people walking in the background. You see their dog or their cat. Go to your money room. When you're on a Zoom call, it's a business call. Put a collared shirt on. Look professional. Make sure that this is your sales call. What we say is go to your money room and make sure nobody's interrupting you, and make sure that this is a sales call. You may have one shot at that customer. So really not get good, get great at it. And that's what we're encouraging our members to do.
I love that. Go to the money room, because that is a big thing, because a lot of people kind of relax at home. You get relaxed, but you look good, you feel good, you present better. So it's like you show up to the virtual call, you show up like you're going to a business meeting.
Right.
It's like you wouldn't walk in with your pajamas into a meeting room.
Exactly.
Yeah, so these are things, but I think it's just change. It's hard because, again, in setting up, it doesn't take, the minor investment it takes to put a camera on some lighting is nothing. The ROI you can get off it is 100 times.
But it shows your customer that you care. It shows your customer that you're taking this seriously. This is not a very casual event. This is a business call, especially whether it's a new customer you're trying to crack or an existing customer. They want to know that you've taken it seriously, and by the way, that you're prepared. Customers today are no longer going to accept the fact that they ask you a question, you're going to say, I have to get back to you. No. I expect you to have, I expect you to have your engineer on the Zoom call. I expect you to have the manufacturer. Don't say, I have to get back to you. You should be prepared what questions the customer would ask me. Make sure you have the resources. You can get resources easier today than have everybody fly into Southern California, the manufacturer, the engineer. You can have everybody on a Zoom call. So you deliver service excellence to the customer. That's what the customer wants. So,
I mean, you have to anticipate what the customer needs. It's that's a service. It's just anticipating and giving them the experience. And again, we're all into this, but we all want experience. We all want to be like we're taken care of. They anticipate the needs of what we need and being proactive,
right?
Instead of just selling a product or here's this product, take this. It's like, what do you need, and understand how they live, breathe, walk, and how it makes their job easier. Because again, we all need someone to, as I said, a partnership that you help me, I help you. It's a two-way. It's not a one-way. And that's one thing I think the ecosystem of salesmanship is not. We help each other. It's not about I'm just selling you a product and I'm going to walk away to the next customer. We're working, and that's why I love the community of what ERA builds and sustainability of the foundation. Like we're in this together.
And the excitement, Rob, is the fact that the world has changed.
Yeah.
So the geographies, the boundaries are gone. So if you're looking for somebody in Southern California, you want to have somebody that does whatever it is you're looking for. In the old days, they'd have to come in and work in the office of your company, and Now you can say, if I found the best person there in Kansas City, I'm going to be able to hire them. They're in Kansas. So you're not restricted by the boundary. Or if you have somebody in Kansas City, in the old days, you have to move to Southern California to come work for me. I don't want to move. In the old days, you couldn't hire them. Now they can stay in Kansas City, work for you. And as one of our speakers said yesterday, the culture of the company doesn't exist inside the four walls of your building. It exists in the hearts of the employees. That was a big takeaway for me. So you can create a culture with people working remote. So the new world is here. Embrace it. Get good at it. Get great at it, because your competition is getting great at it.
That's leading with empathy. You lead with empathy.
Right,
That
exactly.
process. So for moving forward, 2021, what's new for ERA introducing? What are all the new resources and tools that ERA is bringing to all of its members?
Well, it's interesting. I'm glad you asked. So we'll be announcing a new online hover map, a rep locator. You know, we get asked a lot at ERA by manufacturers, hey, I'm putting a rep on in upstate New York. Which zip codes does upstate New York cover? U.S. Postal Service zip codes. You know, where does northern New Jersey separate from southern New Jersey? What about Florida? What about Minnesota? Does Minnesota cover some zip codes in Wisconsin? Things that we really never dealt with. So people would ask me, and I would say, well, we should probably do something. So we're announcing an online map that will show sales territories, show U.S., as crazy as it sounds, U.S. postal zip codes are important as how the manufacturer is going to pay the reps. And also we'll be incorporating the DTM information from Buddy Marketing. That's all going to be online. That's the first initiative. Second initiative is we've announced the formation of a next generation group of reps that we've put together. We've got 27 reps. You know, people that come into a rep company that are younger have different needs, different questions, different frustrations, different complaints. We've given them a forum to talk to each other so they know they have a vehicle and a platform to share some of these frustrations inside of ERA. And we're also re-announcing an ERA white pin internship. We'll be funding 3 internships for the summer of 2022 to be able to have reps hire interns, summer interns. Again, we're trying to restock the pond. We're going to go to different colleges and look for interns, because the industry, the people coming out of college today have no idea about the electronic components distribution industry. No, they don't know what a manufacturer's rep is. You mentioned electronics. They all want to go to work for Apple or Google. Well, how about working for a rep company? You want to go sell the technology that goes into an iPhone? You want to go sell Texas Instruments? You want to go sell analog devices or AVX capacitors? These are the companies that you can sell state-of-the-art products. They have no idea what exists, that our industry exists. So we're trying to get into the colleges. So those 3 initiatives, the internship program, the next generation program, and a new hover map, will provide a real need to the members of our industry.
Yeah, and start accelerating the new generation that's coming in. And there's a lot going to be changing in the next 5 to 10 years. This decade of the roaring 20s, as it was going to be, it is. I mean, we get them, but it's roaring. We're growing, and it's exciting because supply chain is on top of the news today. So our industry is now, when you tell someone to sell electronics, I sell in components, that they don't get, now they realize, oh, you're in that, so they can put 2 together. So the public now, we're in the forefront. So now it's more exciting to bring more talent and make this industry like it was in the 80s and 90s. And it was exciting because the software companies came in. We are just like you said, we're the foundation of the hardware. We design into aerospace, to technologies, shooting rockets to the moon. You know, I mean, these are things like SpaceX and, you know, Teslas, and then we get into the medical sides, you know, saving lives and saving analytics. Everything that's connected today, that hardware has been designed in by a rep or distributor or some manufacturer. It's been there, you know, and these engineers just don't pick things off the shelf. They work with the partners to help them give the best solution for their product that makes a difference in the world today.
You also now have the average consumer talking about supply chain and talking about chips, semiconductors. And why can't we get these semiconductors? I can't buy a new car, I can't buy a new washing machine or refrigerator. So all of a sudden our industry's become a lot more pervasive and a lot more well-known. But you guys, we sell semiconductors. We do that. And why is the supply chain? It's amazing how the whole world, because of the pandemic, the whole world has now been educated about supply chain and about semiconductors, and how if you can't get a semi, you're not going to buy the resistor or the connector or the relay. it has a halo effect on the rest of the components.
As I said, the two things that we learned during the last 2 years is everybody's an epidemiologist now and everybody's a supply chain expert. The two things we take away.
Exactly right.
It is. But I want to say thank you, Walter, for everything. I am so excited. Day 2, it's been amazing. Day 1 was fantastic, and I cannot wait for this afternoon speakers and the breakout sessions. And I really appreciate everything you do for the industry. And whatever I can do, whatever the IBS, the Real Talk can do, we would love to give back as much as we can to lift us all up because we grow together.
Well, we appreciate the support of IBS. As I said earlier, Rob, you've really taken the industry by storm. 2 years ago was I think, your inaugural event in our industry. You now have a great brand on not only LinkedIn but on Facebook, and you really have taken our industry by storm. So we're really appreciative of the support you've given the conference, setting up college game day here with
got our fingers,
my foam fingers.
I
just think it's really great, and I want to thank you for all the support you've given
to
us in our industry.
I appreciate it, Walter. Thank you very much.
My
I look
pleasure.
forward to the rest of the day today.
Perfect. Thanks, Rob. Enjoy the day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.